Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Dead on Dave. Welcome back to the channel, and of course, it's time for episode 3. Was this 3?
3 or 4, I don't know.
Episode 3. We'll call it 3 and change it if we need to. Episode 3 of Touch 'Em All, your weekly baseball show, and of course, I am joined with my good friend, the Mountain of Muscle, the magnificence of man, the human Adonis that is Jeff, the Huff Huffman. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, not much, not much. Playoff hockey. Cardinals had a great week.
Yeah. Yes, they have. Yes,
Can't really complain. So
yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Playoff basketball. I know you're not a big basketball guy, but it's kind of
yeah,
cool that we're just in that really special time of year where you got playoffs and two of the major sports and baseball starting to get going. And it's been a really intriguing start to the season in baseball. And
yeah,
there's UFC fights and huge boxing fights about to happen. It's a crazy time in sports right now. It's a lot of fun. So,
yeah,
are you ready to touch them all?
yeah. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's start today with Jon Lester and his play that he stole out of friggin' Angels in the outfield, it seems. This is not baseball. Jon Lester with a comebacker gets stuck in his glove, thinks for a second, then acts very quickly as he starts running to first base, throws the entire friggin' mitt to Anthony Rizzo, who smartly drops his own glove and catches the glove with the ball in it like a tight end. I love that play.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Play.
El Duque wants his gimmick back, but it was pretty cool.
It was. I love that the manager of the Padres tried to come out and argue it too. I thought that was funny. What's there to argue?
I mean, there's nothing to argue. Rizzo has the ball. He stepped on the base.
That's an out. I thought it was really cool though, especially with all the talk that there's been about Jon Lester not being able to make a pickoff throw to first and having problems fielding the. But you know what? He made a cool play there.
Yeah, no, he did. That was pretty cool.
It's one of those things you don't see very often. I know you remember El Duque doing it. I think I remember it too. But, for me, the most logical thing that comes to my mind is Angels in the outfield, where the third baseman, it happened to him. And they do a double play with the damn thing.
God, it has been years since I've seen that movie.
I love that stupid movie. I do. The kid from Third Rock who ended up being a big famous actor.
I didn't watch that.
He's really famous now. He's a big actor. He's a big Hollywood movie star. He was in that Bruce Willis movie not that long ago where he played younger Bruce Willis about those time traveling and everything.
What was that called? Looper or something?
Looper, that's right. Looper, yeah.
Oh, Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
Yes, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Robin.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he was in that movie with Danny Glover.
Danny Glover.
Which is so great.
Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, Lethal Weapon. It's so great that Danny Glover was in a baseball movie. It's fantastic. I love Danny Glover. Get it? That's great. I love that movie. It's Tony Danza's in that movie. Come on. He doesn't get much better. Friggin' Doc Brown is in that movie.
Yeah, it has been years since I've seen that movie. When I say years, we're talking probably some 15 or 16 years since I've seen that movie. You saw it
when you were like 5.
Probably.
I love that flick, man. I love baseball movies, but that one's one of my favorites. It's probably
they need to make a new baseball movie.
Another good one. I haven't seen a good one in a while. I did like that Trouble with the Curve, though. I gotta admit.
Was that the? Which one was that?
Clint Eastwood.
Okay, I was gonna say that was the Clint Eastwood one. I haven't seen that one.
I dug it. I liked it. I just it's such a controversy.
I heard that movie got a lot of hate.
It did because it speaks out so highly against the advanced stats.
So
movement.
it's basically the rebuttal movie to Moneyball.
You know what? In some ways, it kind of is because it really is just about like scouts and how they're dying out and how they shouldn't be dying out because they basically paint the advanced stats people as idiots, and it's really funny. It's really, really funny. They paint them as fucking morons, and it's hysterical. Anyway, moving on. Jon Lester, good play. Love that. We're going to start a new segment, Opening Rants, and we both get a little time to talk about the things that are eating at us most. And I'm going to start because D comes before J, so,
Okay.
alphabetical.
Whatever.
And I'm going to stick
Your
with...
show.
No, it's not. It's our show, you fuck. We're going to stick with John Lester. We started with John Lester. We're going to continue to go with him. I want people to slow down a little bit before they continue this myth that signing John Lester was a bad move by the Cubs. It was
3 starts in.
3 starts in. The hate
hasn't gotten mutilated.
He hasn't. Yeah, I mean, the first game he did not have a good game at all. But yeah, he didn't get completely dissected. But it's crazy. All this hate is going on about the Cubs made a mistake. $155 million for what? Well, I'll tell you for what. You're paying for a guy with an unbelievable lot of experience who's been a slow starter in the past and who missed half of the spring training this year. So right now he's rounding into form. I thought he looked really good yesterday for most of the game. He started to have control issues a little bit late. Thought it was a decent game for him. I think it's definitely something to build upon. And it was a great move. I still stand behind it. Yes, they could have signed James Shields, but why? They could have paid $210 million for Max Scherzer. But why? John Lester's a great pickup. I like the move.
And he's buddy with Theo.
Theo knows him very well. Theo understands what type of a player they're getting. And I just have a feeling. And the rest of the pitching staff. Remember, the Cubs are still over 500. They're not in a bad spot at all. They're right there in the Central. They're playing better than I think anybody expected them to play.
2 games back, I believe.
2 games back, yeah. It's really not that bad. We lost the series to the Padres, but we stuck with them blow for blow.
Then also in, I believe, was it the first or second game when Madden got tossed, which I loved, by the way. I thought that was great, and he had every reason.
God. Arguably, all 3 of those games were blown by the umps for us. I mean, the second one tried to be, but luckily.
See, I just saw the one where you had the 2 borderline, very borderline called third strikes that didn't happen, and then next pitch over the wall.
What Madden was saying, he was going off. You could read his lips. It was great.
Yes, all 5
fucking runs. Yeah, it was great. Yeah. Great. I love Joe Madden.
I do too.
He is a player's coach, man. I love that guy. He is so good. I love what he's doing. I love that he's giving kids a chance. He's not giving up. It's not. Chris Bryant went 0 for 5. Some managers, Renteria last year, he would have sat Bryant the next day. He did it with Olt last year constantly. No, what does Madden do? He lets Brian go out the next day, and he gets on base all 5 of his at-bats. That's smart managing right there. So, let's get off of this whole John Lester is a mistake. He's a bust. No, he's not. He's rounding into form. And when the Cubs need him in the dog days of summer, I got a feeling the Cubs are going to be right in contention. And a big part of that is going to be John Lester and Arrieta anchoring that rotation. Jeff, what you got?
All right, this will probably be pretty quick, but yesterday in the Red Sox game, David Ortiz got ejected for arguing balls and strikes. Stop fucking whining when something doesn't go your way.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like David Ortiz, but I'm sick of the bitching and moaning every time something doesn't go your way. I mean, was the check swing close? Maybe. And, that's what he got upset about because he didn't like that the third base umpire said he went on the swing and he didn't like the call earlier in the game. So on the second one, he snapped.
Yeah.
And you started throwing a hissy fit.
He does,
but
which
it's just
prone to doing.
Yeah. I mean, now David Ortiz, probably one of the greatest postseason players of all time.
David Ortiz is going to the Hall of Fame. Let's not sugarcoat it. Unless the PDs
Hall of Famer. Hall of Famer. He's the best clutch postseason performer I have ever seen.
I agree.
It's fucking ridiculous. He carried the Red Sox in that 2013 World Series.
Yeah, I agree.
If he is not on that team in the 2013 World Series, the Cardinals fucking slaughter them.
2005. That comeback against the Yankees. It was
2004.
2004. Excuse me. That comeback against the Yankees. It was propelled by David Ortiz.
Well, that started with a Kevin Millar walk, which he's very vocal. He's very vocal about saying, "I walked against Mariano Rivera."
Congratulations for him. Who took the ball out the yard? Jesus, shut up. Shut up, Millar.
I fucking love Millar.
Yeah, I know. I do too.
I love Millar. But it seems like every time something doesn't go Ortiz's way, he's making a big fucking deal about it.
Yeah.
Like last year, I think it was when they were in Texas, there was a play where the ball he hit didn't get ruled a hit, and he's like fucking appealing that.
Yeah.
Who fucking cares?
Yeah, he's a whiner. He's a big baby, man. He's a real entitled player. He feels like he's done enough in this league where he is superstar. He's Michael Jordan. He should get the superstar calls. Well, that's not how baseball works.
This comes back to last year when David Price said, sometimes I think he feels like he's bigger than the game, and
yeah,
I get that feeling too.
I think that's 100% spot on.
I'm tired of seeing it.
It's annoying. It's annoying. It's frustrating, and you know what? I think it sends a bad message to young players on your roster. That's not acceptable behavior. Because really,
stuff's gonna happen. You're gonna get a call against you, or something's gonna make you upset, and you're gonna go off.
Sure, but you're gonna hurt your ball club. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. That's the only look. You're not gonna win that argument. You're not when you're getting ejected.
You're never gonna win an argument over balls and strikes.
Never.
It is a judgment call.
Yep.
And from personal experience, it is much harder than what it looks like.
I was an ump too. I know exactly what you're talking about. It is not easy. It's a bitch. I was an ump I was umpiring little kids for a while, little girls between like 7 and 10, and I did a really good job. I was making $50 a game. It was awesome.
Damn.
Yeah, it was sweet. This was the
end. No, I remember umping, just doing a fucking pitching machine to like 8-year-olds. Yeah. I got $13 a game. I mean,
yeah. I see. It was the playoff push, and it was kind of Vegas is kind of a hotbed for kids baseball, and I was making $50 a game, man. It was unbelievable. I worked 3 games a day sometimes, and then they made the mistake of saying, "Hey, do you want to?" I'm 18. I'm not even 18 yet. I think I'm still 17. Like, hey, we need an ump to do a low level 16, 17-year-old girls.
Geez.
Softball game.
Oh, gee.
I said, yeah, I'll do that.
They stuck you behind the plate, didn't they?
Yes, they. Well, that was the thing. I was the only ump there. That's why they had to do it. There was no other ump for it.
Oh, so and they didn't even cut you some slack there?
I had no line umps, nothing. It was terrible.
So my God.
I missed 3 calls trying to fucking score a date. I got all 3 of their phone numbers, so I figured, hey, that's awesome. But I almost got lynched. Neither one of the teams were in the playoffs. Neither one of these teams. It was an 8-0 at that point in the 6th inning, which is like the last inning.
Right.
And this girl was wearing the shortest shorts I've ever seen in softball. She bent over. She knew what she was doing. She was doing it on purpose. And I just started talking to her. Didn't realize the ball was in play. Missed an out missed the play at third base. Called it out when it was safe. And then I tried to reverse my call, and then I basically got lynched. I had to run away.
Oh, see, never reverse your call.
Never reverse a call, never. Even if you missed it 100%, it was God. I felt.
I mean, you want to get some of the biggest morons you've ever seen? Go up to Cooperstown and umpire, and so just those first couple of games, get the biggest fucking morons you will ever see, because the teams that you see at the beginning, they suck.
Yeah.
It just. And then my favorite one, I don't know if I've told you this, but my favorite one, I was behind home plate, and it was strike 2. The count was 0-2, and this kid throws a nasty curveball. I mean, it was awesome. Kid misses it by like 2 fucking feet, and it hits the dirt.
Okay.
So I say strike 3.
Yeah.
And he doesn't run down to first base.
Okay.
So the catcher picks up the ball, tags him, I call him out.
He's out, yeah.
And then the hitter's like, I didn't hear you say strike 3.
He swung.
And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, okay, I'm like, buddy, you swung.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you didn't say strike 3. And then the coach comes running out, and he's like, I didn't hear you say strike 3. Well, 1, it's not your job to fucking hear me.
Yeah.
And 2, fucking Helen Keller could have saw that he swung and missed the ball. He missed it by a fucking 1.5 feet.
Yes.
Now, these weren't my exact words, because in Cooperstown, in the Cooperstown Dream Park, the guy that owns it, who makes a fucking fortune.
I'm sure he does.
I mean, we figured it out. This guy and this goes on for 13 weeks in the summer.
Oh, God.
This guy makes roughly $22 million a tournament, and that's a week. He roughly makes $22 million a week.
What the hell?
It's fucking ridiculous.
That is insane. That's a lot of money.
It is fucking. But he says, umpires, don't argue with the other coaches, or we will throw you out of the park and you will be banned from the park. So I can't defend myself. So basically, I just got to say, okay, all right.
Really? You had to eat it?
I had to eat it. See, and
Eat it,
that's the part of
Huffman. I love it.
that's the part about being an umpire that I can't do, because like somebody will say something to me and I will fire back, and
See, I didn't have those rules.
I will emotionally destroy them and probably make them commit suicide.
Yeah. I didn't have those rules. In fact, I was because it was a privately owned ballpark that we were playing in. I was told to I could eject friggin' family members out of the goddamn park. And that's how serious it was. It was crazy. Crazy.
Another one that I liked. I wasn't giving this kid the call on the curveball. I mean, he was missing outside. It was a good couple inches off the plate, and I wasn't giving it to him. And the coach comes up to me and asks me, have you ever seen a curveball before? Why aren't you calling that a strike? And he's like, why aren't you calling it a strike? Have you never seen a curveball before? I'm like, yeah, I've seen a curveball before, and if it's a strike, I'll call it a strike.
Yeah.
It's not a strike when it's about 6 inches off the plate.
Yeah, no question.
The kid's going to have to turn into Mr. Fantastic to hit the ball.
That's funny. That's funny. But the point is, don't argue balls and strikes. I mean, that's the point of this.
That should have been my rant right there. Stupid coaches.
Parents.
Stupid parents, yeah.
But the point is, David Ortiz, stop being a big baby and don't argue balls and strikes. You're not bigger than the game. And what do you want? Do you want it electronically? Is that what you want? You want the umps out of there and everything's just on a computer screen? Believe me, that's going to piss you off too.
You just want to have an ESPN strike zone just projected over the plate, which I fucking hate that thing, by the way.
Oh yeah, because it doesn't ever look like it's completely accurate. And honestly,
well, no, and it takes away from the, I don't know, from the, the real feel of it. I don't know.
Well, it does, and you know what it's there for? What it's there is to piss on the umpires. That's the whole point of it, is to make umpires look bad. ESPN has an agenda. All those K-Zone things, they have an agenda. They want the game to be streamlined. They want umpires out of the game. Every time that Joyce or any of these umpires who do have ego problems.
Jim Joyce was also in that game with Ortiz.
No surprise. Some of these
Jim
guys
Joyce is a really good umpire,
yeah,
but
he's about him.
Yeah.
He loves him some Jim Joyce, And there's a couple umpires who are like that, and ESPN hates them, and they shit on them every chance they get. And believe me, this whole K-Zone thing, it's all about streamlining the game and getting it out. So that's the whole purpose of it, kids. It's to shit on the umpires, and they do a very good job.
I'm completely okay with what Fox Sports does. They'll flash it up every now and again on a replay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm completely fine with that.
But ESPN has it almost freaking side by side. It's crazy. But you know what? For all ESPN's faults, there are many. They're still awesome. I still love ESPN. I'm a ride. Yeah, you hate ESPN with a passion, but I'm ride or die or ESPN because nobody else does it better. Quite simply, I love
MLB
ESPN.
Network.
Oh God. Yeah, if you can find games that are actually broadcast by them, everything is through Comcast. You have fun with that. Comcast Sportsnet. That's drives me nuts. Now I will say this: MLB's pitch tracker and everything they got for their advanced stats, awesome. Awesome. It's the best I've seen. It's incredible. It's really cool. If you want to use it for fantasy tracking and everything, it's a lot of fun. It's cool. So I think we got our rants out of the way. Do you feel better? Do you feel like all that hot
I feel better. That went a lot longer than I thought it would, but I feel really good.
Yeah, well, you started stories about baseball and stuff. You know how baseball goes. We're storytellers.
That's okay.
So let's transition to the power rankings. We're in the second week. I think it's time enough to start ranking up these baseball teams. So I thought it'd be a good idea to go ahead and start a Touch 'em All Power Rankings weekly segment. And Jeff, I will let you have the initial honors of telling me what your top 5 teams, and you can go ahead and talk a little bit about them. Take it away, Huffman.
All right, starting with number 5, I am starting with the Los Angeles Adrian Gonzalez's and Howie Kendricks. Because they are carrying this team right now.
Yes,
you got Agon, who's hitting 469. His on base is 527.
Ridiculous.
527.
That's insane.
He's hit 5 long balls, driven in 14. And then you got Howie Kendrick, who's got 6 doubles. He's driven in 10, and he's hitting 370. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous, like how how these two are just carrying their teams right now.
They are.
Where do you have where do you have the Dodgers on yours?
Well, I'll go through mine after you do your top 5.
Okay, I mean Kershaw hasn't been, he hasn't been Clayton Kershaw. He's been human through his first couple starts.
Yes, I know. I have him on fantasy. I know. Trust me.
He's 1-1 with a 4.4 ERA or something.
Those aren't Kershaw numbers, but let me tell you real quick. Not to sidebar at all, but sometimes this happens. I mean, Justin Verlander was unhittable until he wasn't. David Price still unhittable. But what's his name? CC Sabathia, unhittable until he wasn't. Has Kershaw reached that? I don't know. It's too early to tell. Hope not. He's my anchor.
Yeah, but Kershaw's stuff is so disgusting. He's gonna overcome it. But Zach Greinke's been really good. He's 2-0. His ERA it's under 2.
Yeah.
He's thrown 19 2/3.
Yeah,
he's been pretty good. But the
1.83 for Greinke.
Yeah. So I mean, if you got Gonzo getting on base like over 50% of the time, and Kendrick right behind him at like 400 or something, I think they're going to be okay.
They should. They're still getting healthy too. It just looks like they're going to lose Puig for a little bit. They lost their closer. This is a team that should get better. So yeah, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm. All right, you may go to number 4.
Going. Number 4, yeah. Keep going.
Okay. Number 4, I got the Kansas City Royals. Kansas City Royals. They got off to that great start. I believe 9-1.
9-1, yeah.
9-1. They got off to a great start. They kind of dropped a couple games here, but Lorenzo Cain. I mean, this guy's just been absolutely on fire. He's hitting 413. He's hit 2 home runs, driven in 12, and he's walked 5 times, and he's also swiped 4 bags, and he's looked awesome in the field. And his on base percentage is .491.
Yeah. By the way, as a team, they're hitting .313, which if you're scoring for home is good enough for first in the majors. Just so you guys know.
Everybody's been talking about Lorenzo Cain, but look at Salvador Perez hitting .362, Kendrys Morales .347, Eric Hosmer .326.
Sick.
And Mike Moustakas .304. I mean, Moustakas was awful at the plate last year, and it seems like he's just continuing what he did in the postseason. A bunch of people thought the Royals were going to take major steps back, and
I was one of them. Yeah.
I wasn't too sure about that because they have relatively the same team. They still got the bullpen where if you're trailing after the 5th inning, you're done.
I thought the offense didn't do enough last year to get him really going. I felt that this was a team that was getting a little bit fluky. Alex Gordon, he was the fluke of the team. It looks like because he's not doing what he did last year.
He's not doing anything. He's not doing anything, but you still got the
don't need him.
The ridiculous fielding ability that he's got, which is just unreal. They just lost Alcides Escobar for a little while with a sprained knee. We'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah. And that bullpen is disgusting. So
bullpen. And it seems like I kind of look at it like the Orioles. They don't really have a starting rotation. It's just kind of like the next man up sort of thing. They got Edison Volquez to replace 3-frame James, but Volquez has been, he's been pretty good. 1-1, 2.3 ERA.
I don't think. It's weird. Their starters are strange, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean Ventura's got a 4.8 ERA. The rest of the starters have gotten, I wouldn't say lit up, but people are getting hits off of them.
Yeah, Danny Duffy.
Danny
Duffy, Ventura, Guthrie.
Guthrie, Vargas. Yeah, they've been kind of meh to the first.
All have inflated ERAs. All the guys we just mentioned, ERAs are above 4. 2 of them are above 5. So, but that bullpen doesn't matter. They keep them in games. Games, and the offense is doing.
Their bullpen's giving up. I think their bullpen's giving up 1 run.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. Let's see I just talked about how bad the starters were ERA. This is how good their bullpen is. They've brought the terrible starting ERA down to 3.31 for the team. That's good enough for 10th. That's sick. That's sickening. It's crazy.
Oh my!
They're not getting enough quality starts out of the starters, and believe me, bad starting pitching will hurt them at some point. I'm just not sure when that's going to be because that offense is
that bullpen's not effective if you don't have the lead.
Very true. Very true. But right now, the offense is clicking. So nobody was going to expect they were going to have the best offense in baseball. With right now, they basically do. Number one in on-base percentage, number one in batting average, third in runs, fourth in slugging percentage. If anybody out there had fourth in slugging percentage preseason for the friggin' Royals, and they'd be slugging 467, you're a fucking genius. Because let me tell you, nobody had the Royals doing that offensively. Ugh. Please continue, good sir.
All right, number 3, I got my St. Louis Cardinals.
Yep.
St. Louis Cardinals, their starting pitching has just been absolutely fucking disgusting.
Yes, it has.
It has been absolutely disgusting. I'm pulling it up here. You got Wainwright, who threw another gem last night. 8 innings, only 1 earned, only struck out 4, but Wainwright's looking real good.
He only struck out 4.
Yeah, he's got his ERA at like a 1.7. Lance Lynn, he's going to be going tomorrow. His ERA is a 1.64. Carlos Martinez has looked really well since coming to the starting rotation. He's only 1-0, but he shut the Reds down twice. Yeah. His ERA is at a 2.08. Yep. John Lackey doing about what you'd expect.
Nobody expect John Lackey to be this good. John Lackey had a great game the other. Yeah, John Lackey. He's old as fuck.
So
he's been pretty inconsistent over his career. You got to at least say that.
He has, but when you're making major league minimum and you're putting out this sort of performance, that's a fucking steal.
Of course. I'm not saying anything negative about the guy. No one's expecting him to be this good, I think, is what I'm saying.
Rosenthal's 4 for 4 in saves. You got Matt Carpenter, who's been. I can't say enough about Matt Carpenter.
Yeah, you do love yourself some Matt Carpenter.
Matt Carpenter is Joey Votto with less power. Yeah, that is what Matt Carpenter is.
That's fair.
He can he gives you a quality at bat every at bat. Yeah. He knows where the strike zone is, and just vision, just like Votto, the big knocks on him were letting the close pitches go. Well, both Votto and Carpenter are swinging at those pitches, and Carpenter, I believe, has extra base hits in 5 or 6 consecutive games. Yeah. Yeah, he's driven in 9 runs, and that's actually leading the team right now. The leadoff hitter is leading the team in RBIs.
Yeah, look, your offense isn't clicking. I wouldn't call it it's not like your offense.
It's not on fire, but it's not abysmal like it was last year.
No, it's middle of the order. You guys are not scoring enough runs. You're 22nd in that. You're batting. You're hitting 253 as a team. It's good enough for 9th. That's good.
And Yachty's been on fire the last couple games. After not hitting Dick the first couple games, he's just absolutely lit it up.
You got to figure with the names that you have in that on that offense.
Hayward hit his first home run.
Yeah. It's got to get better offensively.
He's been awesome on defense, and you got Matt Holliday, who's driven in 6 runs. I believe he's 5 for 7 with runners in scoring position, and that's not counting the walks that he's gotten too, because he leads the team in walks with 8. And Matt Holliday's doing this. He's hitting 361, and he doesn't have a home run yet. That's fucking scary.
You're taking up all of your Cardinals time at the end of the game.
Well, I was going to say this could just be my Cardinals report right here.
Yeah, it is.
This is just going to be my Cardinals report right here.
It totally is. So
I'm going to knock out 2 birds with 1 stone here.
That's just being efficient. Good work, Huffman.
Yeah, the thing I like about the Cardinals, they're running a lot more too. Yeah. You know who has 2 stolen bases this year?
Yachty.
No. Yachty will be a ninja on the base pass sometimes, though. Matt Holliday has 2 stolen bases this year.
He's like 87 years old, too.
Yeah, he's, 35, but, whatever.
That's close to 87. Yeah. In baseball years, 87. To sum up on your pitching staff, they're number 1 in the league in ERA, 1.91. They got 9 quality starts. That's good for 4.
I don't think that's – I'm loving it, but I seriously doubt that's going to hold up.
A team whip of 103, which is ridiculous. That's good enough for
and the ERA, what was it, 191? 191?
Insane.
Yeah. Yeah, you know who leads the team in fucking ERA? Randy fucking Choate with a 13.5.
That's your boy. And
2/3 inning.
The sickest thing about that I could say about your pitching staff, friggin' teams are only hitting 206 against them. That's good enough for first 2.
Well,
sick pitching staff.
Just because I like to laugh at this, you know what they're hitting against Choate?
Oh, why are you really hate this guy? Go ahead.
He has not performed. He doesn't do his job. His one job is to get left-handers out, and he can't do
Well,
it.
get mad at Matheny. Yell at Matheny for keeping this bum in there.
Oh, believe me, during that NLCS, I was yelling at Matheny a lot.
What do you got at number 2?
As we all watch the ball sail down the right field line in San Francisco.
Yep.
Okay.
Feel better?
All right. Yeah. No. I feel good. I feel
Good.
good. 8-3, top of the NL Central.
Yep,
I feel good.
You should feel good about that.
All right,
we're coming to get you, bitch.
My number 2 team is the New York Mets.
Oh.
They've just won 8 in a row, I believe.
Yes, they are in the midst of an 8-game winning streak. Yes, they are.
Now everybody's been talking about the Marlins. You know how they just picked up Michael Morris. And they just signed Yelich. They signed Stanton to that ridiculous fucking contract.
You mean the cellar dweller Marlins at 3?
Oh my
God!
God!
Are those the Marlins that you're referring to?
I am referring to those Marlins. It seems like every time the Marlins get hype, they just burn and die and go through a fire sale.
Yeah. A lot of people were expecting a bounce back. It just ain't happening, folks. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
But the Mets, go ahead about the Mets. They are.
No, I mean the Mets have been a lot better than I think everybody. Yeah. They've been better than what everybody thought.
Nobody thought the Mets were going to be this good.
Going to be 10-3 right now.
No, 500 maybe, and you're probably lying if you thought that. I mean, let's face it. Especially if I would have told you David Wright was going to be missing time this early in the season, which shouldn't be a big surprise because David Wright always fucking gets hurt. That's what he does.
Yeah.
Leads the league in injuries. I swear to God.
I mean, they're not like really lighting it up on off. Well, Travis d'Arnaud is. I mean, he's driven in 10 runs, but it seems like they're kind of a station to station team. Like they don't hit a lot of home runs. They've hit, I want to say, well, they're hitting some home runs actually. Yeah, I'm actually looking at it.
Not a fuck ton, though. They're not killing.
No, I mean their offense doesn't wow you, but they're putting runs up on the board, and the pitching it's been enough for them to win.
They've hit 9 home runs as a team. They've hit 9 home runs.
Okay, I mean that's actually a little more than I thought.
Yeah,
that's actually a little more than I thought. You got DeGrom, who's been fucking disgusting.
Yeah, it's the pitching staff. It's the same talk.
This is what we thought the pitching staff would do.
This is without Wheeler too. Matt Harvey.
You got Dylan. I mean, Dylan G's been awful, but other than that,
let's talk about Harvey. Let's talk about the Dark Knight for a second, shall we?
Yeah, 3-0.
Harvey, sick.
3-0.
He's making a push for early season Cy Young, no question about that.
DeGrom's been better.
Yeah, he has. That's very
DeGrom has been way better, and that's not a knock on Harvey because Harvey's been great too.
Yeah, really.
I mean, DeGrom's ERA is under a 1 right now.
God, it is sick.
I don't know what else to say.
Your Mets are good. I
don't know what else to say. I mean, they're 10-3. They've won 8 in a row.
Yeah, Mets are good.
There's really not much to say.
And who's your number 1 team, Mr. Huffman?
My number 1, to no surprise, is the Detroit Tigers.
So.
I mean, I'm going to read you some stats here about this lineup, and just take this. Let this sink in for a minute. Jose Iglesias, average 436. Miguel Cabrera, 436. Anthony Goose or whatever the fuck his name is.
He was really cooled off since I picked him up in fantasy, by the way.
Yeah, and he's still hitting 393. Victor Martinez, 310. Ian Kinsler, 306. Yoenis Cespedes, 300. Shall I go to the on-base percentages?
Please.
Jose Iglesias, 476. Miguel Cabrera, 491. Ghost, 393. Victor Martinez, 429. Ian Kinsler, 352. And Cespedes, 314. I mean, nothing big there. Oh, my God. It's just a FanDuel wet dream is what this team is.
It is. It really is. Detroit is amazing. I mean, they really are an incredible team.
You got David Price, who's been just unhittable.
Yeah.
And Shane Green, he's 3-0, and his ERA is a .39. .39. 8.39, and David Price is a
yes.
.4.
Yeah.
David Price is 1-0. He's only 1-0, and his ERA is a .4.
It's pretty sick. It's pretty sick.
Oh, and they don't even have Verlander in there yet, and
No.
he has to be better than last year.
Hopefully he's gonna come back from the injuries
Oh, there's no way he can be as bad as last year.
Well, he had a couple moments last year where he showed signs of the old Verlander, but the problem is he's not lighting up the radar gun like he used to be. He's gotten old.
And the big question is with their bullpen. I mean, Nathan hasn't given up a run. Chamberlain hasn't given up a run.
Yeah.
Tom Gorzelani, that was a nice little find for them. He's in 3 games.
He's bounced around everywhere, hadn't he? Jesus.
Yeah, he's been a little bit of a journeyman.
Yeah. He's
been a little bit of a journeyman, but the big Achilles heel for the Tigers has been that bullpen. Well, when your offense is getting on base 50% of the fucking time, you don't really need much of a bullpen.
No, but I'll tell you, it is nice for them to have a couple of guys like Gorzelani and Chamberlain, who was, by the way, friggin' untouchable. Nobody wanted to take a chance on this guy. The Tigers go ahead and steal him, in my opinion. Him and Hughes, after leaving friggin' Yankees, go on to have really, really nice little seasons. And Chamberlain I like him a lot. I wish the Cubs would have picked this guy up. I think he's got a lot in him, and he's a strikeout waiting to happen. And I like this guy a lot. He's going to really be good for the bullpen in Detroit, and he has so far. Gorzelani's been sick.
And if Nathan decides to choke later in the year, like he usually does, you can throw Chamberlain back there. And
they also Albuquerque too, who used to close.
Albuquerque. This is the same talk we've had for the last couple of years. It's just closer by committee, basically.
Yeah, well, it's not right now. And if the Tigers
it's Nathan's job right now.
It's Nathan's job to lose. And if the Tigers continue to be this good, which likely they could unless the injury derails them, it's gonna be a long season for all opposing hitters. Now, my top 5 is a little bit different. In fact, I just made a change right now because I looked at some numbers I had not seen, so I made a change at the top myself.
Okay.
I got the car. What's that? Go ahead.
Start. I really gotta pee, dude.
I
got tears running down my face.
All right, Jeff has now relieved all of the urine from his body, and we can now continue. We'll go on to my top 5, and mine's a little bit different.
Please.
At 5, I got the Kansas City Royals. I'd like to have them a little bit higher. I know you had them a little bit higher, but I got them at 5. And you went over everyone so nicely. I don't really need to say much else other than they've lost a couple games recently.
They lost a series to the Twins.
Yeah, and that's going to hurt them. But they're 7-3 in their last 10. 9-3 overall.
I think you'll take that.
You'll take that any day of the week. But I got them at 5, and it's just because I feel some of the teams on this list are playing a little bit better, such as the number 4 team. What's that?
No, I was gonna say the Royals still got that speed. They still got that great base running, but they're hitting more home runs.
Yeah, they're fundamentally sound. I like them a lot.
For some reason, the state of Missouri last year was a pitcher's wet dream. Because nothing was flying out of the ballpark.
At 4, I got your team. I got the St. Louis Cardinals at 4. For all the reasons you stated, this is just a scary, scary team, and they're getting better, and you got to figure the offense is going to click to match what that incredible pitching staff has been doing. So I got the Cards at 4. 3, I got the Dodgers. I got the Dodgers ahead of you guys because I feel like
the Los Angeles Gonzaleses.
You say what you want. They won 7 in a row.
No, they have.
They got a plus 17 on point differential, which you guys have a little bit better, but I mean, it's impressive what they're doing. I'm not sure. Another reason why I have them so high is because I don't know how long this is going to last with all the injuries. So kind of enjoy it while you got it type of situation. Number 2,
they got a bunch of guys that are injury prone from Ethier to Crawford. Rollins is up there in age.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I just made a change in my 2 and 1. I mimicked yours, I've decided, because I did have it flip-flop, but I just looked at some numbers, and I'll get into it in a second on why I made this change. I got the Mets at number 2. I did have them as number 1 because I was not going to ignore that 8-game winning.
See, I think with the Mets being in there, it's more of a surprise factor. Like we wouldn't
It is. Well, look. I was giving them the top spot because they won 8 straight. That's why I was giving them the
Right,
top
that's
spot.
the thing too. They've won 8 straight.
So like, and you got to go off of who's playing the best right now, and 8 wins is the best in baseball. So that's what I was going with. However, the Mets. I look, enjoy them, because this might be the only time they're in the top 5 on the power rankings for us all year. So enjoy that now. But after looking at some numbers that I'm about to talk about, there's no question that, Huffman, you are 100% right. The Detroit Tigers are far and away the best team in baseball.
I mean, they got to be scoring, 7 runs a game?
68 runs they have scored this season. That's not the best in baseball. It's second. You're like, oh, God. Well, how does that work? I mean, wait, why would you put them first if that's the case? Well, I'll tell you why. Because they're also second in batting average. .305. They're also second in on-base percentage, .369. And they're also second in slugging percentage, .486. There's a trend here, people. They're really friggin' good, and no other team who is ahead of them in multiple categories. All right, this team is insanely good, and they're only going to get better. They're catapulted by the best player in baseball. I'm sorry, Mike Trout, you are not there yet. Miguel Cabrera, who's been the best player in baseball for the last 5 years, is still the best player in the game today.
Offensive player, Cabrera.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. Miggy is not a defensive wet dream or anything, but he's a hell of a ball player. Comes to play every single day. And them Tigers are sick, man. They are sick. The question becomes, do they make a move if Verlander doesn't come back to be solid? Do they make a move for, I don't know, Hamels? Does Cole become a friggin' Tiger?
I still think Hamels is going to Boston.
I think that's a very good possibility. Boston needs that ace now.
Boston's got 52 outfielders.
Yeah.
They don't have an ace.
They don't have an ace.
What could Cole Hamels be?
He's that ace.
Maybe he could be the ace.
Especially because considering how well the Red Sox have played this year without an ace. They have played pretty damn good baseball up until recently. Yeah. So, it is that situation. They need an ace more than anyone else. But if last year showed us anything, the top teams in the league in the summer are deciding to make huge moves. The Tigers did it last year by getting David Price. A's did it with Lester and Jeff Samardzija. I mean, teams are not afraid to go for it.
How'd that work out?
It didn't work out for him very well. But teams are not afraid to make those big moves mid-season. And there's probably going to be a few names who are going to be available that can change playoff races. The Tigers might be one of those teams that are going to decide to go ahead and make a move for a guy, especially if Verlander can't come back.
If the Reds aren't doing much this year,
Cueto. If
they kind of fall off, Johnny Cueto.
Yep, Cueto. Very easily.
Johnny kicking Cueto.
I got a feeling that Chapman might become expendable at some point too. I have nothing to base that off of, just gut feeling. Because if you're going to give up on Cueto, you might as well give up on Chapman. So it's just like, if you're going to kick, you're going to get a lot for those two players. Let me tell you. And let's think about how the trade market for a second has been reset completely because of what the A's did with Samardzija, giving up not only for Samardzija, but getting Samardzija and Hamels and giving up the number one prospect in baseball in a lot of people's eyes, Addison Russell, and Billy McKinney, who's a hell of a player as well. They have set a market for aces being dealt, and God, can you imagine if Cueto, who's a hell of a lot better than Samardzija, or Hamels, who's a hell of a lot better than Samardzija, gets moved? What is it going to take to get these guys? It's going to take a king's friggin' ransom. Mm-hmm. So, just something to keep your eyes open. But yeah, no question, Detroit, best team in baseball. I think we're very highly agreed on that. Ready to shoot through some news here real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Sweet. Yeah, let's shoot through some news here. I want to talk about baseball's newest rivalry right now.
I love this. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Great.
I'm tired of seeing the buddy shit before the game. After the game, fine.
Sure.
After the game, fine. But everybody just going up, hugging people, hugging the fucking equipment manager before the game.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
It sickens me in basketball that the thing they do right before they tip off, everybody strokes each other's cock for about 10 seconds. Everyone high-fives, everyone hugs, kisses. It makes me sick. Hockey's got it right. Save it for the end of the game. Do a handshake line and call it a fucking day.
And only in the playoffs.
Only in the playoffs. Yeah, that's right.
I love it. I love this between the Royals and A's.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
the Royals and A's are becoming baseball's new rivalry, and the A's have played surprisingly well this year. I think for a lot of people, for a team that completely
You never know
overhauled.
what you're going to get out of the A's.
Very true. They always seem to just completely overhaul their entire team, but yet find a way to stay relevant, and they've done it again. I mean, they're not lighting the world on fire, but they're doing okay. You know, I mean, just being in any good position, I think, is more than what people thought, let alone 6 and 7. And we'll talk about that horrible division in a moment, by the way. But the benches emptied for the third straight day as 5 Royals were ejected after reliever Kelvin Herrera threw a 100-mile-an-hour fastball shoulder high behind Brett Lowry. It was in the 8th inning, and while he was being ejected, Herrera pointed to his head, saying, "Next time, that's where it's going." Lowry
Now
didn't like that.
now is that exactly what he said, or
It's what Lowry is saying. This is what Lowry has to say about it. He goes, "That's what got me hot. That's what got me mad. You can't throw at my head and say, next time I face you, it's in the head." Lowry said of Herrera's gesture. He needs to pay for that. He doesn't throw 85. He throws 100 miles an hour. Look, reality is, even pointing at your head, you lose all benefit of the doubt. I don't give a shit what else people are saying.
I don't believe that's what he said, but
doesn't matter.
You can't
Doesn't
do that.
matter. You can't throw a 100-mile fastball behind somebody shoulder level and then point at your head. You can't do it.
Can't do that.
Can't do it.
Which I don't like. Again, I don't think that's what he was implying. It was a heat of the moment thing, but
I know he did it as being ejected. So I think it's exactly what he meant personally.
and just a couple days before, Laurie took out Alcides Escobar.
Yeah.
With the dirty slide.
It was a dirty slide.
Well,
there's no question.
Yeah.
But like 100-mile-an-hour fastballs will kill you. If you get hit in the temple, you're going to die.
And if you have never been hit by a pitch,
oh god,
I know from firsthand experience, it does not feel very good.
Yeah.
And this is probably only a 75, 80 mile an hour pitch that I've been hit by, and it does not feel very great. Does not feel very great.
I love teams competing. I love teams being a little chippy. I do. But I'm going to kind of go a surprising way here. I think Herrera needs to be suspended, and I'll tell you why. You can't throw 100 mile an hour up above the letters in a gesture trying to hit somebody. You can't throw behind them above the letters. If you want to drill somebody for getting retribution for your teammate, I'm all for that. Do it in the ass. Do it like porn stars, in the ass. Okay?
Right.
Because hit him in the meat. Don't hit him in the ribs. You're going to break a friggin' rib. You don't hit him in the head because that's terrifying. You don't do it. He can say, "Oh, I have control." Nobody has that good of control. If you throw it behind a batter,
it's going to slip every now and again.
Absolutely. And the one time that it does, we're going to have tragedy on the field. I think Herrera needs to be suspended a game. No more than that. A clear message has to be sent, especially because we have a rookie friggin' commissioner in Manfred. I think a clear message has to be sent. This is not what you want to see on a baseball field. There's nothing wrong with being chippy. I don't have a problem with benches clearing it. No problem at all of that. But you cannot throw a 100-mile-an-hour fastball up above the letters as a warning.
Do it.
Can't do it. It's inexcusable, and a message has to be sent, man, because that's terrifying. You can end someone's life there. And maybe I'm being a pussy. I don't know. But unless you stepped in a batter's box against somebody who could throw that hard, you have no idea what it feels like. You feel helpless. Because if the guy wants to hurt you, he can. So I think he needs to set a game. And
it takes 0.3 of a second for that ball to get to the plate.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. But you know what? I like the fire. The fire.
I do too.
I'm loving the fire. I am enjoying it, and I'm glad that both teams are having a little bit of success and showing some competition between them. And I like new rivalries. I like that a lot. So keep it up, A's and Royals, but keep it safe too. Jeff, I'm a little depressed. Another week.
Would this happen to be the AL West?
Yes. The
You're
AL
depressed
West,
from the AL West.
That's right. I am completely morose over this, and I'll tell you why. Another week goes by, and we're still without a team in the West over 500. Is this the worst team in baseball, or does this just speak to the new competitive balance throughout the league?
Maybe a little bit of both. I don't know yet. It may still be too early to tell. We're what, 11, 12 games in.
Yeah, 12, 13
I
for
think
some, yeah.
I think we're going to need a little bit more of a sample size here.
True. But, I mean, we
But
are talking about, more than 1/16th of the year.
it seems like just from the little bits of that I've seen from these games, they're very high scoring games and teams blowing leads late.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
just yesterday, the Mariners and Rangers, it was 11-10 the final
yeah. Oh,
after Nelson.
let's look at this division a little bit. There's only one team in the entire division that has a plus minus point differential, and that's the Athletics. And it's actually the best in baseball, I think, at plus 24. No, I'm sorry. It's behind Detroit and Kansas City as well, but still, it's impressive. Plus 24, if they keep that going the entire year, that's going to be a tough team to beat. Everybody else, including the division-leading Houston Astros, are in the minus. The Astros, yes, the division-leading Astros at 6-6, they have a -6 in point differential. It means they are scoring 6 less points than they are giving up. That's not good. Yet they're 6-6 and they're leading this division. Why? The Angels can't get it together. Looks like more drama is unfolding with Josh Hamilton, who's now getting divorced, so he's probably going to go hit a pipe again. The Texas Rangers can't get anything together, and the Seattle Mariners might be the most disappointing team.
Rangers are hurt. I think
They are.
I
Well,
think
they
we're
weren't
still
going to be
waiting
very
for
good
I
anyway.
think we're still waiting for the Mariners to gel.
The Mariners,
Maybe.
yeah, but you know what? This team is majorly the same as they were last year. I mean, they had a little bit of adding with Cruz and stuff with Nelly, who's been great.
But also think about this: the way Nelly Cruz has been performing, and you're only 5-7.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's a little bit worrisome. I think it's safe that they're one of the most disappointing teams in baseball. In fact, they're going to show up a little bit later here when we talk about them. But Texas, I don't really know what to say about him. Prince Fielder is having a bounce back year, like a lot of people thought he would. He hasn't hit a home run yet, but he is hitting 385. So it's like, well, why isn't that enough? I don't know why Texas isn't any good. It's a little surprising.
Got a lot of injuries. They lost Darvish for the year.
Yeah, that does suck.
Yeah.
So, I mean, right now, this is anyone's division. What do you think is going to happen with the West? Who's going to emerge here? Do the Angels have a chance to be the surprise?
I'm still waiting for the Mariners or the Angels to, kind of step up here. But, like I said last week, outside of Trout and Pujols, what do the Angels have on offense?
True. Very true. So I have a question for you on the West. Going into next week's show, we're sitting here next Monday. How many teams will be over 500? We're going to set the over at 1. We're going to set the over at 1. Are you taking the over or are you taking the under? And you can't push, you big pussy.
Over under 1. I'm gonna go 2.
You're gonna go with the over.
I'm gonna go 2. I'm gonna go with Oakland, and I'm gonna say the Angels.
Wow. Okay, I'm saying under. I'm saying once again we will have a team at 500, but nothing better. There will be no team over 500 because the West is disgracefully bad. Get your shit together, AL West, because I'm starting to get depressed in you. All right, so let's get through the first 2 weeks of baseball. What is your most surprising thing that you've seen in the game so far?
My biggest surprise is how well pace of play has worked so far.
Oh, wow, yep.
Yeah, it seems like these games are getting done a lot quicker. I love the shorter commercial breaks, a minute and a half. I can get up, take a piss, come sit back down, and the game's right back. I don't have to sit for another 2-3 minutes. And just last night, this is just the Cardinal game last night. Total game time, 2 hours, 2 minutes.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's impressive. That's impressive.
I mean, it's pretty. The big thing is that time between innings. I think what are they giving them? Like, was it
30 seconds or something? Or no, I'm sorry.
Minute?
That's commercial. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
What is it, like 2 minutes in between or something? It's something really short.
It is,
but
but it's going right back to the game. I like that.
Yeah, everything's going right back to the game, which is just awesome to see. And that's been the knock on baseball, that it takes too long, which I was never really bothered by.
Sure.
I mean, the 14 pitching changes in an inning could get a little annoying, but I didn't mind it too much. But just for the fact that the games are getting done faster, I think it's good, and I'm actually very surprised how well this has worked out. And it could also give the umpires some leeway on the replays because we've seen some longer replays this year on closer plays.
Yeah, I'm
I
in
like it. I
agreement.
like it. I like how it's going.
I'm in agreement with you. I think that's 100% spot on. I think it's been quite impressive how well it's working, and nobody thought it was going to work. Nobody. So it's quite impressive. For me, my surprise is the power display my Major League Baseball teams this year. One of the biggest stories last year was the lack of power in baseball, how the power hitters essentially died. Well, that's not really the case this year. You got a lot of teams.
Because you got people from the '90s who are butthurt about not seeing roided up,
Yeah, the chicks dig the long ball.
roided up 4-foot shortstops who are hitting 70 home runs a year.
Well, now this year, it seems like the power is starting to come back to the hitter's direction. Now, a lot of this could be because of some of the impact players that are coming up from the minor league systems and how players are developed overall. We don't really know exactly why. But this is just how baseball goes. There's ebbs and flows.
It's a game of adjustments.
It is. It's competitive balance. I think baseball has it probably better than any other sport. I love the way it goes because every couple of years this balance seems to flip. I'm not saying that we're going to have multiple 40 home run guys this year. I'm not saying that. But I think we're going to have between 20 and 30 home run guys this year. Maybe upwards of 35 home run guys. I think there's going to be a lot more home runs hit than last year. And I think it's good for baseball because kids and chicks dig the long ball. Biggest disappointment. Let's go to there because I like negativity. And for me, the biggest disappointment is those Seattle Mariners. They are unbelievably disappointing to me. I know 5-7 is not jump off the building, but this is a team that really is built to win right now. And if they don't start getting it together, you have to wonder, with that management, that ownership, who has been flighty in the past, who they get out of sinking investments, They got aging stars in Nelly Cruz. Cruz is not a kid anymore. If he continues to hit the way he does and the Mariners are not in it by, friggin' June, they're going to start shopping some guys. And that would be a shame if they have to break up this team because this is the team that everyone thought was going to be it. So for the first 2 weeks, my biggest disappointment is the slow start by the Seattle Mariners.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Biggest disappointments for me. I'm not going to touch on this team very much because we kind of expected them to take some steps back. San Francisco Giants suffering from another World Series hangover.
Yeah, it's an odd year. The even years are good.
Yeah, right. The Milwaukee Brewers are only 2-10. I mean, they've been awful, but that's not. Yeah. Yeah, that's not really a disappointment for me.
No, everyone kind of thought they were going to be bad, and you're getting enjoyment out of the fact that they're bad.
I am too. Well, aren't you?
Of course I am, but because you loathe Ryan Braun with a furious passion, even more than I do.
Right. I mean, that's the only reason there. So that's not really a disappointment for me. Yeah. But the biggest disappointment for me, and we kind of touched on it earlier, Miami Marlins, again, coming in with all the hype with Stanton, Yelich, who I really love, Ozuna. They picked up some starting pitching in Latos, who after his first start had a fucking radio station as his ERA.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just, I don't even know what it is now. I'm scared to look at what Latos' ERA is because he is getting lit up the ass.
Yeah, well, you know what though? They made a lot of moves in the offseason that I feel were more flash than substance. D. Gordon, he's had a nice beginning to the season.
D. Gordon's been pretty good.
He's been good, but I mean when he's being touted as your biggest piece that you got in the offseason, I think there's a problem there. As far as Latos goes, I've never been a guy on Latos, and by the way, his ERA is 10.24.
Okay. So
not the worst on the team.
It's not a radio station anymore.
It's still pretty bad. Steve Cishek.
Cishek. There we go.
He's 1929. Yeah.
Ha!
The stock market crashed that year,
Right.
But
that was good. I like that.
Yeah, it was nice, wasn't it? It's crazy. This is just the team, I was not expecting them to be phenomenal. I mean, I thought this was going to be a runaway division by the Nats. That has yet to happen. I'm not sure if that's going to happen.
The Nats just got they got their outfield back. They got Span and Worth back.
So for me, I'm not overly surprised with how bad this team is. How bad
we see this from the Marlins all the time. This could potentially be the third time now in the last 18 years we've seen this.
Yeah. Now I think it is surprising that the Phillies aren't worse, but hey, give it time. I'm sure.
Give that time. I'm sure they'll be checking into nursing homes in the very near future.
But the reality is the NL East is shaping up to be an unbelievably competitive division, with the Nationals starting to get it together, and the Braves,
the Braves so far overachieving a little bit.
Yes, I think so, and I think you could say the same thing about the Mets. I don't see either the Braves or the Mets. The Braves have cooled off a little bit from their hot start, but I don't think either of those teams are going to sustain what they're doing. However, I don't think the Nats are going to get into a position where they're going to run away with anything. So I see a lot of competition there.
Yeah, no, it should be fun.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. There's a lot of stuff going on. Finally, we get to our team reports. Now, Jeff already went in.
I already did mine.
Yes, you did. You went into the Cardinals at great length. So allow me now, good sir, to regale you all with the tales of a very, very happy Chicago Cubs fan. I'm ecstatic with the way the season has started. And I know some people are yelling at me right now. They're 6-5, Dave. How can you be happy with that? Yeah, they're 6-5. They're 6-5 without a legitimate ace at the moment. Lester has not been an ace. Arrieta got lit up in his second thing. Wood has been Wood. Hendricks is not doing what he did last year. And I can't even think of the fifth starter right now. Or Hamill. He's been probably their best pitcher so far. Offensively, they're just starting to click. The young guys are starting to go. Soler is he's got an opportunity to be the rookie of the year this season. Castro is starting to get it going, hitting the ball a lot more solid, getting better contact. Rizzo is still getting his footing, but he's a slow starter.
Rizzo's not the shizzo yet.
Not yet, but you feel like when this guy swings, he's just a tweak away because he's a slow starter. So I'm not really surprised at that. Chris Bryant, do not underestimate how much pressure it puts not only on him but this team when a guy that some people are already putting in the Hall of Fame joins a club mid-season. He struck out.
Give it time.
Yeah, give it time. He struck out 3 times in his opener, and then came back the next day and had a really nice day. Hit his first double yesterday. He's starting to get comfortable. Did make an error yesterday, but overall he's played really solid third base. This is a team that is starting to really come together and playing against hard teams in the beginning of the year. We've had a really tough schedule.
Yeah.
And now we get the Pirates now. We get to calm down a little bit and hopefully pick up some wins that we should be winning. We're going to see what type of team the Cubs truly are. Also, what I really enjoy about the Cubs is the fact that they made a move in the minors that I don't think anyone's really paying attention to. Addison Russell is now playing second base for the Iowa Cubs. That's huge because the one spot on the infield that is producing nothing for the Cubs is second base. Alcantara is not doing a fucking thing. Herrera is no bat, but he's a hustle player. If you bring up Addison Russell in the next month, which I think there's a good possibility that it happens, you let this kid sink or swim, and I'm telling you, this kid is being projected by the best, most trusted scouts that I know in baseball. He's better than Bryant. That's all I keep hearing. He's better than Bryant. He's better than Soler. This kid is the best prospect in the Cubs thing, and that's incredible given how good the farm system is for the Cubs.
Well, keep in mind, the number one prospect, I believe, 2 years ago was Jurickson Profar.
True, but I think him and Buxton and all that stuff. Yeah, Profar, it's a little early to give up on Profar. I know that he's
done for
right? Yeah,
he's not playing this year.
The thing about Profar that always got me is I don't understand why he was so highly touted when he has no bat. He hits like a girl. You know, there's he's got no power.
Which is why they compared him to Ozzie Smith.
I guess so. The Wizard hit a few dingers in his life, though.
Yeah. His whole career, he hit 28 home runs.
He hit 28 his whole career?
I believe, yeah.
Wow, that doesn't seem possible. Is that the least home runs from any Hall of Famer offensively? It's
Potentially.
got to be close. It's got to be close. I mean, how many Hall of Famers get into the Hall with that on merits of everything else? I mean, I know Cal had more than that.
Mm-hmm.
God, really 28?
28.
That's insane. I was not thinking that he only had 20 home runs. That's insane. Learn something new every day, folks. But yeah, I'm really happy with the Cubs. I think that this has gone about as good as it could go. You got Brian up there. Everything looks to be okie dokie, and things should be getting better for the Cubs. If you're a Cubs fan, you got to be happy with the fact that after the first 2 weeks, we're over 500. So there's my Chicago Cubs report. Pretty good.
Very nice.
Very nice.
You have every right. You have every reason to be excited.
Yeah, unfortunately, you guys are amazing as always, and that makes me sick to my anus. But oh well.
That's okay. Yeah, 28 career home runs.
Wow, that's crazy. So I think pretty good show so far. I think not bad, not bad. As you know, here we like to finish up with fantasy talk in the Dead on Dave Productions League, and unfortunately, yours truly has yet to pick up a victory. I'm 0-2. I've lost to Jake, and I've lost to somebody else. I don't even know. I'm very depressed with my losses. But I did have a much better week. Jake and I completely beat the hell out of each other this week. Scored almost 1,000 points combined. This week I played Black Mamba, and I have a feeling I am going to pick up my first victory over the trash-talking Mamba and his Los Doyers.
Now, if you're unable to pick up the victory in this one, how would that make you feel? You would have beaten anybody else this week too.
Yeah, I would have. I put up a lot of points. I put up. How many did I put up?
Doesn't Jake have Harvey and DeGrom?
Yes, he does.
Okay. So, yep. There you go.
And guess who you're playing this week? You're playing Jake.
I am playing Jake.
Yes, you are. Battle of 2-0 guys. How has your fantasy experience been treating you so far, Mr.
2-0, but 2-0, putting up a lot of points. My boy Matt Carpenter.
Yeah, only the most in the league. Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah, Matt Carpenter's been a wet dream for me.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, and I still don't have one of my top picks in the lineup yet because he's hurt, and that's Anthony Rendon, and I'll be getting him back hopefully soon.
Very true. Your pitching staff has been impressive. You drafted well, my friend. You drafted really well. I'm kind of surprised you haven't made a couple moves in your pitching staff. You got a lot of pitchers, by the way. I'm looking at your team right now. Holy God. Maybe I'm going to go that route, too. I don't know. But the rest of the league has been interesting. Everybody's been playing pretty competitively. We do have some shenanigans. People are starting to get upset with each other over trades being rejected and vetoed by the rest of the league. That's how I have this set up. I feel it's fair that if it's an unfair trade, the league will speak. And we had a raping attempt because for some reason, Sael has decided he doesn't give a fuck. And I don't know why. And if I don't hear from him soon, I'm going to transfer his friggin' team because this is bullshit. He's trying to give away everybody. He tried to give away Miguel Cabrera for a guy who's on the fucking disabled list. And it really pissed me off. But luckily it did get vetoed. However, there was a trade that involved him that got vetoed that I'm not really sure should have. Miguel Cabrera for Matt Kemp. At least it's in the now. Granted, if you want to go off historically, it shouldn't even be in the ballpark. But the reality is, Kemp's out. He's right there with him. He's right there with Miggy.
I mean, that one would completely make sense. I don't know.
I think you have to give up a little bit more.
That'd be a big risk if you're taking Kemp. If you're giving up Cabrera.
Well, it's Sael. He's not even playing. He's not. Okay. I don't even know if he's setting his damn lineup every day. So I don't know. But now it seems like people are getting pissed off and they're vetoing. I got a feeling we're going to have a lot of vetoes coming up for even good trades. So I'm speaking to the entire league right now. Evaluate every trade as they come. Don't beat up on everybody. Don't veto every trade just because you're butthurt, okay? I think that's fair.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Well, to close this up on fantasy just a little bit, I'm in 3 different leagues. I've yet to win a single matchup. I'm 0 for 6 and I'm very depressed about it. It's not good. Your boy's not doing well, Jeff. I don't know how to deal with it.
I'm sorry.
Can you help me?
We've only got 3 undefeated teams in our league.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Already.
And one of them is going down this week. You and Jake play each other, so you guys are going down.
Yep.
And Charlie Hustle, the other.
Well, unless we tie.
Well, yeah, that's true. But the likelihood of that is very, very
right.
low. Charlie Hustle also plays a good team in Kung Fu Pandemonium. So we could have only one. There could be only one undefeated team, possibly, by the week's end. So we'll see what happens. Good show. You got anything else that you want to talk about in the world of baseball before we wrap this thing up?
No. I think we covered a lot.
I think so too. It doesn't feel like we went as long as we did last week, but I think we actually went longer.
Possibly.
I think we did. It doesn't feel like we did, but I believe we might have. But this was a much more streamlined episode. What do you think of the new format? Did it work for you?
I like it. I really like it.
I did too. It was good. I love having you on.
I think things go a lot smoother.
Yep, I agree, my friend. Let us know what you guys think. You guys are the ones watching. Let us know if the format is good. Should we tweak things a little bit better? Because remember, this is only our 3rd episode, and we're trying to get better each and every single day. That's what we do. So, Mr. Huffman, I appreciate all your hard work and showing up yet again. Why don't you go ahead and tell the kids where they can find you each and every single day on YouTube?
Yeah, if you want to look for me on YouTube, search Grand Slam 87. I've been lately doing videos on MLB The Show, just talking about what's been going on in the world of baseball. Trying to do it every day, but applying for college is not fun. It is not fun. It is a very long, tedious process.
Yep.
And been doing that, and I'm gonna be doing more of that this week. But I'm gonna try to do a video here in a little bit over something I don't really know yet.
I don't know yet. Yeah.
Or if you like watching people cry at video games, I have tons of videos of that too. So you can go on and check those out there. And if you want to play MLB The Show with me, my PlayStation ID is also at GrandSlam87, and GrandSlam87 is also my Twitter handle.
Because remember, folks, GrandSlam87 isn't just a handle; it's a way of life. Try to figure that out. So I appreciate everything. Thank you guys for joining us once again right here on Dead on Day Productions. Make sure you check out our good friends over at Shot from the Point, the baddest hockey place in the world. I put up a promo. Let me know what you guys think of that. Go over there, check them out, give them some time. They're kicking ass. Now they have a new team member debuted last night. It's an amazing team member. I think it's the best team member there is. His name is Sad Puppet, and it's fantastic. So make sure you go check that out. It's incredible. Tommy C and I also put up a new episode of In the Crease today, so make sure you check that out as well. We do a show every single day, Monday through Thursday. And check out Joe Cronin, who's losing his mind every single day. You never know. You might watch the episode where he murders himself on camera. You never know. So make sure you check that out. Joe Cronin's doing great things, of course. And check out the entire community. Thank you for joining us here on Dead on Day Productions and Touch 'Em All. Episode 3 is in the books. Remember, kids, like, subscribe, and share. And if you don't have, or if you're not, I messed up my exit line. If you're not talented, have talented friends. We'll see you next time. Peace.